Nigeria runs on oil. That black gold is the blood running through the veins of Africa's most populous country and the economy therein. So what happens when the oil is dirty? This. For days, Nigerians in Lagos, Ogun, Port Harcourt and Abuja have waited hours to reach the pump and get their petrol. In Lagos alone, there are reportedly some 5 million cars and 200,000 commercial vehicles, almost all of them running on petrol. A scarcity crisis has been caused by the import and subsequent sale of harmful petrol. The affected petrol is made up of 9% of methanol. It's so toxic, cars have reportedly broken down with sometimes irreparable damage. So the question on many lips is who is to blame? For clarity, it's important to look at the supply chain before petrol reaches the pump. For decades, Nigeria's relationship with its oil wealth has been counterproductive. Nigeria exports its own crude oil only to buy it back as refined petroleum products. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, popularly referred to as the NNPC, is the sole importer of petroleum products into Nigeria. But it doesn't actually do it all itself. Instead, it uses companies to bring in petrol on its behalf under its direct sale, direct purchase agreement. A confidential industry source has told Arise News that Litasco, the trading arm of Lukoil, a Russian multinational energy corporation, is allegedly the original supplier of the cargoes of petrol with 10% methanol to the companies the NNPC empowers to buy petrol on its behalf, including Oando, Britannia U, Jukoil and MRS. MRS is a public company listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Now, it put its statement out first. It admitted to distributing but vehemently denied importing the oil. Its detailed report lists how much petrol they received and how much they still have in stock, and said it's cooperating with the NNPC. But hours after MRS released its statement, the NNPC held a press briefing late at night. Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Mele Kyari named MRS among the importers. He said the NNPC had been aware of the importers and the situation for days, but it's unclear why the NNPC did not disclose this information sooner.
Precisely on the 20th of January, NNPC received a report from a quality inspector on the presence of emulsion particles in the PMS cargoes shipped to Nigeria from Antwerp, Belgium. NNPC investigations revealed the presence of methanol in 4 of the PMS cargoes imported by our DSTP suppliers, including MRS, Dev High Energy, AY McKiffy, Britannia U Consortium, Oando, and also our own company, Dick Oil.
The Arise News source said the tainted fuel came from a group of ports collectively referred to as ARA, Amsterdam, Rotterdam and Antwerp, which was also corroborated by Mele Kyari. But before that oil is offloaded and given to marketers, it has to be tested to make sure it meets Nigeria's specifications. In Europe, methanol in petrol must not exceed 3%, but Nigeria doesn't have a methanol specification, and it's believed Litasco allegedly took advantage of this loophole, knowingly selling cargoes of petrol with harmful levels of methanol. According to a report by the Michigan Institute of Technology, that liquid fuel, methanol, is most efficiently and inexpensively produced from natural gas, and recent reports suggest it trades for $400 per ton cheaper than petrol. In fact, it's so much cheaper, illegal fuel blending is common in countries such as China. But cutting costs is costly. High percentages of methanol in fuel lowers its energy density to a point that can cause stalling and hard starting in cars. Methanol is also highly corrosive and poses a threat to the aluminium components, gaskets, and rubber hoses in vehicles, which is why cars have been breaking down in Nigeria, prompting a recall of the harmful petrol. So why is it that the body responsible for policing the petroleum products that come into Nigeria did not stop this sooner? Farouk Ahmed is the CEO of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. Despite the situation happening on his watch, he says he'll neither pass the blame nor accept responsibility for the circulation of harmful petrol products in Nigeria.
The surveyors who inspected on behalf of the NNPC at the import on the import vessel offshore did not detect this material, this company rather, until when you go into the system. So actually, I don't want to pass blames, but I also want to take responsibility because this is our work. I've just been 3 months on the job now. So it's part of all the learning curves, and we are learning, and we will take the learning forward.
Analysts say this situation is a symptom of the rot corroding the integrity of the NNPC.
First, we need to wait to get the results of a comprehensive and independent investigation. The comprehensive and rigorously independent investigation should establish, 1, the motivation for blending with too much methanol, which is clearly unsuitable in any market scenario, where and when the methanol was blended, either at a refinery, but more likely at a depot, either abroad or even here in Nigeria. We also would want to know the role played by NNPC, its agents, its subsidiaries, and the testing agencies and regulators in this conspiracy, which may be suggesting that this has been going on for a while, perhaps at a more controlled level.
Farouk Ahmed is reportedly supposed to be queried by the Nigerian presidency on the matter.
I don't want to get distracted. I want to focus on the problem, to solve the problem. And luckily, we have gone a long way in trying to resolve the issue because if you go around Lagos now and around Abuja, everywhere you see petroleum being sold. So actually, it's a very limited quantity that slipped into the system. So it's not really, not to give any excuses, but it's not really that much volume that went in the system. And that's why, you can go to any petrol station now. If you go around Lagos, you go to Abuja, you see serving. And this is all the on-spec material.
Nigeria is moving towards having the ability to refine its own crude oil. The Dangote refinery is an example of the infrastructure on the way. But in the meantime, without functioning checks and balances, it's Nigerian consumers who are bearing the brunt of the corruption and collusion before they even reach the pump. Adefemi Akinsanya, Arise News.